Hello, in this video we are going to solve a linear programming problem using the simplex method. So here we are going to take an example to solve it. The first step in doing that is we want to convert the given problem into a given original form into a standard form with slack variables. So if you see here, this is the objective function given. So maximum objective function, that is 3x plus 5y is given, and these are the constraints given. So the first two are the constraints, and this is the non-negative constraint having the decision variables with greater than or equal to 0 value. So this is the original form. Now when this has to be converted into standard form with slack variables, we need to add the slack variables to the given equations. So the slack variables depends on the number of equations. Since here we are having two equations, we are going to add two slack variables. So the objective function itself gets changed here. So now 3x plus 5y plus 0u plus 0v. So this u and v are the slack variables. And so to each equation, one slack variable is added. And while adding the slack variable, you can notice that this inequality less than or equal to, it is getting changed here to equal to. So x plus y plus u is equal to 4, and the second equation we are adding the next slack variable, that is v. So x plus 3y plus v equal to 6. And so since we have added two more variables, now we have four variables totally, x, y, u, v, all greater than or equal to 0. So this is the first step while we are finding an optimal solution using the simplex method. So after finding this, after changing that, the next step is the we want to create a simplex table. So while we want to find the simplex table, so just see this table format. So all the variables we have to include here. Then the next column is the solutions column, and the inside the variables columns we should add the coefficient values, and here the basic variables we have to include. So this is the format of the table. Now if you see here, we have four variables. So x, y, u and v. So all the four variables we have included here, and the basic variables we have taken as this u and v. So hope you remember that the out of these four variables, now we have to consider basic variables based on the number of equations. Since we have two equations here, we are going to take two basic variables, and we have taken these u and v as the basic variables, and x and y are going to be non-basic variables. So this basic variables as we have taken here, so and now we have to include the all the coefficient values inside the table. So here we can see in the equation, this is the coefficient for x is 1, and here it is also 1, and this is also 1. So 1x plus 1y plus 1u. So we have include the coefficient values here as 1, 1, 1, and for v it is 0, and the value is equal to 4. The solution is 4. And similarly the next equation you can see x plus 3y plus v. So the coefficient of x is 1 and coefficient of y is 3, and for u it is 0, v 1, so it is equal to 6. And the last row what we have written is the objective function, but with the negative sign. So here the x coefficient is 3, but it is written as in the negative value, that is minus 3, and here it is minus 5. All the other things were 0. So this is how we need to write the create the simple table form here, and here we can find in the next step we will be able to find the pivot column and the pivot row. So the pivot column and the pivot row, how we are going to find is the So pivot column is nothing but in the last row whichever is having the most negative value. Okay, so whichever is having the most negative value, that element is column is going to be taken as the pivot column. So if you see here in the last row we have -3, -5, 0, 0, 0. So -5 is the most negative value. So this particular column, this Y column, it is taken as the pivot column. And then we have to find out the pivot row. So how we have to find the pivot row is that we have to find this particular theta ratio. What this is? The last value in the row. Okay, so in each row we have two rows here, and the last value in this row, that is divided by the value corresponding to this pivot column. So if you see here, the value is 4, here the corresponding value in the pivot column is 1, so 4 divided by 1 is equal to 4, and again here 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. Now among these two ratios, what we have found, the minimum value we have to take, and that corresponding row is called as the pivot row. So now here this particular row which is boxed here, it is going to be called as the pivot row. So now we have found the pivot row and the pivot column. So we have found the pivot column and the pivot row. So this pivot column is also called as an entering variable, and the pivot row is called as the departing variable or the leaving variable. Now the intersecting element of the pivot column and the pivot row is the pivot element. So the intersecting element here, it is the value 3, that is the intersecting element on this pivot row and pivot column. So this is the pivot element. So now using this pivot element, we have to update the pivot row. We have to update the pivot row with the new values. So how we can do that is so now here we can see that this is the pivot row. So we have to update this pivot row with the new values so that this pivot value becomes 1. So how we can make it as 1? By dividing it by 3. And not only this particular value, the entire row's values will be divided by the pivot value, so that we will be getting the new values. So the row new values will be, so 1 is, so here we can see that the 1 value, 1 is 1 divided by 3 here, and then 3 divided by 3, then the next value 0, 0 divided by 3, then 1 divided by 3, and 6 divided by 3. So all these row values 1, 3, 0, 1, 6, all these values are divided by the pivot value, so that we get the new values like 1 by 3, 1, 0, 1 by 3 and 2. So we can see here the values were updated here in this table, the new row values. And also we need to update the other two rows. So while we are updating the other two rows, we want to take a C value which is taken as this particular value. This we have to take this value which is present in the pivot row and pivot column value. So the pivot column value. So for updating this particular row, we have to take the C value as 1, and for this row the C value is equal to -5. So how we have to calculate the values for these two rows? The formula is row minus C dot row new. So the value that is already present minus C value is here 1 into the new row value. So that is what we want to calculate for updating this particular row. So you can see here this value has to be updated now. So 1, okay, 1 minus C value is 1 into new row value. So the new row value we have updated here is 1 by 3 for the pivot row. So 1 minus 1 into 1 by 3. So that gives you the value 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 is updated here. Similarly here 1 minus the C value is 1, 1 into 1, this new row value. So that gives you 0. So 0 is updated here. So similarly, all the other values in this row is calculated like this, and all the values in this row is updated. Similarly, we have to update the third row also. So third row, similarly, the C value here it is taken as -5. So the row value minus C into the new row value, that is this pivot row value. So as you see here, -3 minus C into, C value is -5 into the updated value is 1/3. Sorry for this one. So -3 minus 5 into 1/3. So that gives the value as -4/3. So we are updating here it as -4/3. So the next value -5 minus, this is the row value, minus C into, C is again -5 into this new row value, that is 1. So that gives you the value as 0. So we are updating here. So similarly, all these values were updated in the third row also. Now after completing this, we have to check whether all the values in the last row are non-negative values. So if all the values are non-negative, or it is if all the values are positive values, then we got the optimal solution. If not, we have to again go back to step 3 to iterate again. So this is the first iteration. At the end of this fourth step, iteration 1, the last row we didn't get all the values as non-negative values. So we have to go back to the step 3. So what is step 3? Again we have to calculate the new pivot column and the pivot row, that is the entering value and the leaving variable. So for finding that, for finding the pivot column, we have to choose the column which is having the most negative element in the last row. So obviously the column corresponding to this X is the pivot column. And to find out the pivot row, the last element in the row, has to be divided by the corresponding element in the pivot column. So we'll be getting a ratio, and similarly for the next row also we'll be getting a value. So here we are getting theta ratio is 3, that is 2 divided by 2/3, that gives you 3, and 2 divided by 1/3 will give us 6. So this is the ratios we are getting for these two rows. Now among this, since this ratio is smallest, we are choosing this particular row as the leaving variable or the pivot row. So now we have this as the pivot row, X is pivot column and this U is the pivot row. So once we find this, now the intersecting element is the intersecting element is 2/3. So this is the pivot element now. Now we have to make this pivot element to be 1. So for that, the entire row's values has to be divided by this 2/3. So as we do so, the new updated values what we are getting is, so 2/3 divided by 2/3 we will be getting 1, 0 divided by 2/3 0, 1 divided by 2/3 3/2, minus 1 divided by 3 divided by 2/3 will be minus 1/2, and here 2 divided by 3 is 2 divided by 2/3. Okay, this value divided by the pivot number, that gives you 3. So this is the new updated values for the pivot row. Now we have to update the other two rows also. So how will we do that? The row value has to be, so we have to find the C value. What is the C value? The value that is present in that pivot column is the C value for this row. So for this row, C value is 1/3, and similarly for here it is C is equal to minus 4/3. So now we have to again calculate the updated values for these two rows. So how will we calculate? This row value minus C value into the updated row value in the first row. So 1 by 3 minus, again C value is 1 by 3 into 1. So that gives us the value as 0. So here we are updating it as 0. And the next value, if you take 1 minus, the C value is 1 by 3 into the updated value in the previous row is 0. So 1 minus 0, that is 1. So we are updating that value as 1. So next one, 0. So 0 minus, the C value is 1 by 3 into the updated row value here is 3 by 2. So when we do the calculation, we will get minus 1 by 2. Similarly for the other two values, and similarly we have to do for the third row also. So here the C value is minus 4 by 3. So we have to calculate using the same formula. So this row value minus C into the new row value. So new row value means this pivot row value we have to take, the updated pivot row value. So by that we are getting these values 0, 0, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 14 in the last row. Now again at the end of this iteration we are checking whether all the values in the last row is non-negative. Yes, of course all the values are non-negative. So then it means that this is the optimal solution we have found. So this is the solution column. So the value of x is 3, the value of y is 1, and the value of z is 14. So this is the optimal solution we have found after 2 iterations. So in some cases this may go on for further more iterations. So we have the final optimal solution as x equal to 3, y is equal to 1, and the u, v variables are remaining 0, z equal to 14. So this is the optimal solution we have found for this particular linear programming problem using the simplex method. Thank you.